כל האומר דבר בשם אומרו, מביא גאולה לעולם.
Ever since the podcast revolution, some religious Jews in America have slowly begun to assume that Judaism and conservative politics are basically the same thing. And in some areas, there may be some overlap, but that's a dangerous way to think. The Torah isn't Republican, it isn't Democrat, it isn't capitalist, and it isn't socialist. The Torah has its own independent moral framework. And if you outsource your moral thinking to a political party instead of the Torah, you'll never actually discover what the Torah says. Economics is a great example. There are places where the Torah fiercely protects private property, and places where it mandates social obligations. Today, we're going to discuss an economic perspective from Rav Elchonon. Surely you've heard of Bernie Sanders' famous argument about wealth inequality. The top 1% controls an extraordinary share of the wealth, while an enormous portion of the population owns comparatively little, and that's immoral. Now, Sanders has a whole economic philosophy, but I'm not focusing on that. I'm simply highlighting this observation. An unprecedented amount of wealth has amassed in the possession of a tiny percentage of the population. Is that fact itself a problem? What does Das Torah have to say about the accumulation of enormous amounts of money in the hands of the few? Well, Rav Elchonon in Sefer Kovetz Ma'amorim teaches that the Torah also cares about this kind of stagnation.
וזה לשונו הטהור והקדוש.
He notes that the term for money is zuzim. It comes from the root zuz, which means movement. Money is supposed to move. In order to reach its full potential, it's got to transfer hands. When it just sits there, there's no investment, development, increase of goods and their quality. For Rav Elchonon, this phenomena is a generational punishment which reflects a spiritual failure. Why is it that we are punished by Hashem by the fact that money is lacking in motion? Well, it's actually very simple. People don't trust each other. Think about it. If I don't trust you, I'm not lending you money. I'm not investing in your business. I'm not comfortable putting my money in your hands. Lending is too risky. And once people begin thinking that way, small businesses have a harder time getting started. Existing businesses have a harder time scaling. All that money which could have been doing something just sits there. So underneath the motion problem, there's really a trust problem. There's a lack of trust, of emunah between one person and another. Ben Adam lachaverei. And here's where Rav Elchonon takes this somewhere I don't think any economist would ever take it. He says, you want to know why we're losing trust in each other? It's because we've lost trust in Hashem. And it's a midah keneged midah. When we lack emunah between us and Hashem, then the emunah we have in one another begins breaking down. And so the zuzim that are supposed to move stop moving.
עד כאן לשונו.
That's Rav Elchonon's picture of the problem. While he doesn't outline the solution, I'm certain that it's because he thought it was very obvious. We need to strengthen not only our knowledge of emunah, but also the practice of it. To live knowing that parnasa is min hashamayim. We do our hishtadlus and we enable others to do theirs. Olam chesed yibaneh. You can actually see successful Jewish models of this in many communities. Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, and Chassidim. The more unified they are, the more the community begins to function almost like a big family business. And this isn't something we should hide, like some sort of secret Jewish sauce for wealth accumulation. We are a light to the nations. So instead of leaving room for anti-Semitic conspiracies, let's tell the simple truth. Trust in Hashem allows us to trust one another, and that's how we prosper. It gives us the ability to collaborate because we both answer to the same Rebbeinu Shalom. And if my Rebbe is your Rebbe, then Bechlal, it's more likely to make me give you a job, to lend you money, to do business with you, because we're sort of on the same page. So let's enhance even further our Achdus, but by having real friendships that are built on a kesher of Torah, a Torah relationship, and one in which we have profound emunah in Hashem, and therefore profound emunah between each other. And Be'ezras Hashem, we'll all be loaded. We'll all be filthy rich. B'siyata d'shmaya.
Thanks for watching, please subscribe and share. It's a mitzvah.